Charlie just stared at her, frozen in his place.
This has to be some sort of joke, right? This doesn't make any sense.
He suddenly looked over at Brianna, who looked pale. His head started spinning.
I need to get out of here.
He threw his headphones aside and started running, but then tripped and crashed to the floor. Suddenly, Brianna was by his side, helping him up, but he pushed her away and left. Madison and Amber were laughing like hyenas, and then someone put on a song, and they all started dancing again. Brianna marched over to Madison and pulled her aside. How could you do this, Maddie? You said you'd let him down easy.
No, Bree. I said I'd crush him like a bug once he fell for me. And you thought I was brilliant then. What changed?
What changed is that we found out he's a really nice guy. He didn't deserve that.
Not my problem. I wasn't gonna keep dating him just because you suddenly decided to become a humanitarian. Now, please don't create a scene at my party.
Tears stung Brianna's eyes as she remembered Charlie's heartbroken face, and she left immediately. Brianna didn't know how she was going to face Charlie in school the next day, but he didn't show up. He wouldn't reply to any text or call, and he didn't come the entire week.
Yes! I checked, and my private plane is free this weekend. We're going to Tokyo, ladies.
What? Why?
Well, Project Plaything is successfully over, and I promised Amber I'd take her for sushi, remember?
Right. Well, consider me out of this plan. Brianna walked off, and a smirk spread across Madison's face.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Amber?
If you're thinking about what being stung by a butterfly feels like, then yeah.
No, I mean about Brianna. Why do you think she isn't in any mood to celebrate with us?
Maybe she's racist and doesn't like sushi.
Or maybe she's in love with that trashy Charlie.
Ew, who likes trash?
Looks like our Bree does. Imagine crushing on someone with that social status.
You know, maybe you're right. When we were at the resort, I saw those two sneaking out at 5 in the morning. I had a headache and I went down to look for some gummy bears. They always make me feel better. Maybe Charlie loves her too.
Of course he doesn't. He fell for me, not her. She's pathetic for wanting him.
That evening, Brianna went to the cinema, and she was relieved to find Charlie at the counter. She walked in, her heart pounding. Hey, Charlie. He looked up at her coldly. Can we talk? Do you have a moment? He walked out from behind the counter and went outside, and Brianna followed.
How dare you show up at my workplace and force me to talk to you?
I just need a chance to explain and apologize. Please. I know how you must feel.
How could you possibly know that when you're heartless? How evil are you, and how empty are your lives that you decided to hurt someone just for fun?
Charlie, you're right. It was cruel.
Not only did the girl that I thought I loved completely humiliated me, I also find out that the person who acted like my friend is a snake.
Don't say that, please. I thought you'd listen.
Why? Because I'm a nice guy, so you thought I'd make you feel better even after treating me like dirt? And why are you here apologizing now?
I know I was a part of the whole thing, but then I got to know you, and I didn't want to do it anymore, especially after all those late-night calls.
That was you? So I never talked to Madison on the phone?
No, that was all me, Charlie. And you and I, we have some connection.
What are you talking about? I don't even know you. Just leave me alone. I can't take this anymore.
Charlie sat down against the wall with his head buried in his arms. Just then, his colleague came running out.
He's been having a very hard time. Please, don't make it worse. Just go.
Brianna turned and ran away, her heart about to burst. On Monday, Brianna was sitting on the bleachers during football practice when she suddenly saw Charlie walk onto the field. Oh, thank God, he's back.
Hey, kid, where have you been all week?
I had a family emergency, and I'm quitting the team, sir.
No, Charlie! You're so talented!
I'm sorry, but I have a scholarship to maintain, and it's all I can focus on right now. Thank you for giving me an opportunity, though.
I was expecting you to run off like a scatty little cat soon enough.
No trash talk, Elijah. All right, let's take a break, everyone.
Just then, Madison and Amber came and sat on the bleachers, and Charlie made eye contact with Maddie for a few seconds, then walked off.
Wow, he really looks heartbroken over me. And is it just me, or does Charlie look kinda hot with that broody cold face? He was just too nice before, like a puppy.
Looked like a loser before, looks like a loser now. I just knew you couldn't be dating him for real.
He's twice the guy you'll ever be.
You said something, Brianna?
Yeah, I said, he's twice the guy you'll ever be.
Oh, really? How'd you reach that conclusion?
Well, firstly, he's clearly better than you at football. Secondly, he's definitely smarter than you. Thirdly, he's a pretty cool DJ. And fourth, and most importantly, He's not some arrogant, self-absorbed jerk like you who makes me cringe every time I look at him. There was a stunned silence as everyone stared at Brianna. Elijah forced a grin.
Feisty. I like that. So how about we go on that third date and you can continue talking about me there?
Not even in your dreams. As Brianna started walking off, Elijah blocked her way to tease her, but she suddenly pushed him with unexpected force. He fell down a couple of steps, and his knee hit the ground hard.
What is wrong with you?
Brianna looked just as shocked by what she'd done. At the dinner table, Brianna's dad was cheerfully trying to make conversation, but Brianna seemed lost. Just then, her mom walked in, looking mad.
Brianna, do you just enjoy making my life difficult?
Look, if this is about Elijah,
You pushed him down the bleachers?
he was pestering me, so I just pushed him away. I didn't mean for him to fall.
He's hurt his knee seriously, and he's on bed rest for 2 months. And his mother, my new business partner, is furious. What if she pulls out her investment?
She said it was an accident. Surely his mom would understand.
Well, it's not like Brianna hasn't rejected Elijah or been rude to him before. I don't expect his mom to understand anything.
I don't care what his mom thinks.
Because you don't care about me. I've built everything for you. But no, you'd rather be an actress. And now you're bent upon ruining.
Oh God, I can't have this conversation again. Just because I don't want your company doesn't mean I don't care about you. And stop trying to make me feel bad. If it's any consolation, I feel terrible already. Brianna stormed off with her mom staring after her.
She's always been difficult, but something extra's been going on with her lately. I never thought she'd be violent.
That's an exaggeration. And you never try to actually talk to her.
She doesn't talk to me. I'm going to ask her friends what's up with her.
Charlie had returned to school, but he just kept his head down, talked to no one, and pretended Brianna didn't exist. She kept her distance from him, but she also found excuses to stay away from Amber and Maddie. One day, she was reading in the empty gym during recess when Madison snatched her book.
Come on, Bree, this is getting ridiculous. It's time for an intervention.
What?
We know you're going through something. Even your mom is so worried. I told her you've been avoiding us too. And well, I think I know what the problem is.
You lied to me about your breakup with Charlie, and I'm mad.
But it's not just that, right? I think you have feelings for him.
Yes, I have feelings, because I'm not a robot. And I'm also mad at myself for being a part of this horrible plan. It's making me think about the kind of people we are.
Kind who like to have fun.
We have everything, Maddie, and we decided to pick on the poor orphan who's working hard to support his grandma for fun?
Who the heck cares?
I care. I don't want to be this person, and I don't want to have friends like that either.
So, are you saying you don't want to be a Barbie angel anymore?
Yeah, I don't. And for the record, that's a really stupid name.
Wow, you're so ungrateful. When you came to school as a nobody, I made you one of the most popular girls. And in case you've forgotten, I got you your first audition.
How could I forget? You never let me. Yes, you got me the audition, but I got the role because of my talent, and it's not a good enough reason for me to follow you and do whatever you say anymore. We're done.
Oh, if you think.
Just then, Amber fell to the floor with a thud.
Amber, get up! That's not funny.
But Amber was unresponsive. She'd actually fainted. They immediately rushed her to the hospital, where she regained consciousness, and the doctors ordered some tests.
Oh, my head. It feels like there are 1,000 cactuses inside.
You're gonna be okay. Just go, Brianna. It's not like you care. You made her faint by stressing her out.
You were the one shouting at me.
Please, both of you, shut up.
All of Amber's tests turned out clear. Her parents even sent her reports to the best doctors around the world, but no one could figure out her problem. Meanwhile, her headaches and fainting spells continued. But one day, Brianna's mom brought up something unexpected while visiting Amber.
Someone at work had a back problem, and she swears this healer fixed her after the doctors gave up. I know it sounds a bit ridiculous, but maybe you could try it?
At this point, we'll try anything. Who's this healer?
Well, these girls know her grandson. It's Charlie's grandma. Amber's parents went over to Charlie's house, and they were told she can't see them.
What did you expect? She hates us, of course.
Why is she making this personal? Why won't she help someone if she can?
Look, maybe if we go in there and convince her how sorry we are, she might listen.
Fine.
The three girls went over to Charlie's place one evening, and to their dismay, Charlie opened the door.
What are you doing here?
Don't flatter yourself. We're not here for you. We want to talk to your grandma.
She doesn't have time for people like you. I made that clear before.
Charlie, please, I need your grandma to take a look at me. Something's really wrong with my head.
You got that right.
We're not messing around, really. Amber is suffering, and the doctors can't figure out what's wrong.
Not my problem. You people are rich enough to find someone else. Just leave me and my grandma alone.
Wait, I'll see her.
No, you don't have to do that, Grandma.
Step aside, Charlie.
Charlie stormed off angrily, while Grandma led the girls to her healing room. After Amber described all her symptoms, Grandma made her lie down and prepared her healing herbs, then started a strange ritual on her as the others watched. Once she was done, Grandma made Amber drink some tea.
How do you feel, dear?
I feel good. My head feels lighter, like there was a whale sitting on it before and now it's jumped off. I haven't felt like this in weeks. Thank you.
Grandma told her to come for 2 more sessions, and the girls got ready to leave. I need to apologize to you for what we did. Maybe you think I'm lying, but I really am sorry. I wish I could take it back.
I don't think you're lying, Brianna. I'll see you girls soon.
After they left, Grandma found Charlie sulking in his room.
You turned away Amber before, too. I wasn't expecting this from you, Charlie.
Why does everyone keep expecting me to be an angel? You know what they did. They're awful.
But it's my duty to heal people, whether they're awful or not. And what they did was wrong. But you have to let go of the anger and move on.
I'm trying, Grandma. I really am. I just feel so stupid. How could I let someone treat me so badly and humiliate me?
It's because you see the good in people.
Yeah, it's called being an idiot.
Don't lose that heart of gold, kid. You'll find the right person one day who will really love you for it.
Charlie decided not to let the spoiled brats get to him anymore. He worked really hard for the midterms, and when the results came, he was at the top of his class.
What are you grinning about, Charlie? Found a golden ticket in a chocolate bar?
Wow, I'm surprised you actually read a book. And I'm just happy about my grades, which have improved since we stopped hanging out together.
Can't talk to me like that. Just because your grandma helped Amber doesn't mean you're anything special. You're still a nobody.
I'd rather not talk to you at all, Madison. And thanks for making it so easy to move on from you. I can't even remember what I liked in the first place.
You go, Charlie. As Charlie walked away, Brianna impulsively called out, "Hey, Charlie, wait!"
What is it?
I just wanted to say thank you to your grandma for helping Amber.
I'm sure you already thanked her.
Yeah, but I was hoping, Charlie, is there no way we could be friends again? We used to get along so well.
But that wasn't real, right? And now I'd never be able to trust a word you say. So yeah, not gonna happen. But really, that was an Oscar-worthy performance. I'm sure you'll have an amazing career as an actress.
After Amber's last session, Brianna wanted to thank Charlie's grandma, so she dropped by his place with some gifts when she knew he'd be working. She was surprised to find the front door already open, and then she gasped when she saw Grandma on the kitchen floor. Oh my God, are you okay?
Brianna, what are you doing here?
What happened?
Shh, not so loud. You have to leave.
What?
Someone broke into the house, and he's upstairs right now. Please, I don't want to put you in danger.
I'm not leaving you. Brianna heard the thief coming down the stairs and quickly locked the kitchen door and called 911. He kept kicking the door, but minutes later, when he heard the police siren, he ran out and escaped.
From your description, he seems like a crazy homeless guy who's been bothering other people too. We'll get him. Did he hurt you, ma'am?
No, I just fell when he pushed me aside. But I'm fine.
We should still get a checkup. I should call Charlie.
Sweetie, he's out of town for a day. Please don't tell him right now.
Well, you can't be here alone for the night.
I'll be just fine.
But Brianna was so persistent that Grandma had to give in. Brianna took her home and made her comfortable in one of the guest rooms.
You should have asked me before inviting your guest. Maybe I would have liked to say no.
Mom, she cured Amber. Letting her stay for one night is a pretty small thing to do. Charlie hurried over to Brianna's house as soon as he was back.
Hey, is Grandma okay? She wasn't hurt, right?
She's completely fine, but she's asleep right now. You can come in and wait.
I'm fine right here.
Charlie sat down on the porch seat, and Brianna turned to go back in.
Wait, I'm sorry. I just want to thank you. Grandma told me on the phone how brave you were and you didn't leave her, and then you brought her here. And you didn't have to, but I'm so grateful. What? Why are you smiling at me like that?
You sound like the old Charlie today, the one who talks too much. I missed him.
Brianna, this doesn't fix everything. I appreciate what you did, but I'm wondering even now why you helped Grandma. Why do you want to be friends with me? Why are you trying all the time to make up for what you did?
Brianna gulped and walked closer to him. There's something I need to get off my chest, so just hear me out, okay? Somehow, getting to know you has changed me, Charlie. You're the sweetest, kindest guy I've ever met, and nothing has ever hurt me more than hurting you. But you know what? It started feeling really bad even when you were still dating Maddie, because I realized that I was falling for you. I know I don't have the right to say that, but I just had to, or I'd explode. And I know you don't feel the same way, and it's okay. But I'm in love with you. That's all. Brianna turned to leave, but suddenly, Charlie took her hand. And then, to her shock, he kissed her. Brianna's mom spotted the two kissing on the porch and stormed off angrily.
I knew these beggars were going to be a nuisance.
Everyone in school was shocked to see Brianna and Charlie walking into the hallway holding hands, and all anyone could talk about at recess was the brand new couple, and Madison and Elijah were pissed.
I always knew Brianna wasn't really one of us, and she's proved how low class she is.
To think that she had a chance with someone like me, and she chose that gutter rat.
Trash likes garbage.
But later in the hallway, Amber caught up with Charlie and Brianna and gave them a hug.
You guys are so cute together, and I'm so happy for you.
Really? I'm pretty sure I heard you call us trash and garbage.
That's just an act from Maddie. You know how she gets? But I always knew you'd end up together. I have an eighth sense about these things, like an octopus.
Just then, Elijah and Maddie walked into the hallway and Amber jumped back.
Ew, it hurts my face to look at you two. When I become president one day, I will ban scholarships for poor people in rich schools.
She winked at them as she walked off, and Charlie and Brianna couldn't help laughing. A few days later, Brianna and Charlie were hanging out in their favorite park, and Charlie could see Brianna seemed distracted.
Brianna, don't freak out, but there's a giant tarantula next to your head.
Yeah, sounds cool. Wait, what did you say?
I was kidding. Where are you lost today?
It's nothing. Well, it's not nothing. Ugh. Here, read this critic's review on the latest Stargirl episodes. It's awful.
You can't be taking this seriously. You don't sound like you have a half a brain, and your acting isn't underwhelming. Come on, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yes, he does. And I know the show isn't the best, but I had to start somewhere, right?
Of course. And people love it.
Except that the show's ratings are tanking, and the next season might be canceled. Maybe Mom was right all along, and I'm just kidding myself with this acting business.
No, you're brave to pursue your dream, and you're lucky you get to do that without worrying about money. Don't give up on it.
Well, there is something I've been thinking about to boost ratings. Don't judge me, okay? I have this doctor who I could pay to make fake medical records and say I have a serious disease. People would feel a lot of sympathy for a young, suffering actress, and it would jump up the views.
It's a reality show, so you'd act like you're sick?
Yeah, just to spice things up. All reality shows do stuff like that.
How much would this cost?
Like $200,000?
Wow, okay, so you'd really just spend so much money on that?
You're judging me, aren't you?
I didn't say anything.
He lay back down and fell quiet, and Brianna looked over at him. If you had $200,000 right now, what would you do with it?
You know when I was away some weeks ago? I went back to my hometown to meet an old friend. Well, we've been working on an app together. I think we have a really good idea, so yeah, I'd invest in that.
Then that's what I'll be doing with my $200,000.
What? No, I wasn't asking for money, Brianna. I don't want charity.
It's a loan. You said the app is promising. I'm sure you'll be able to pay me back.
Do you really mean that?
Please, you're saving me from spending it on something stupid. I really mean it. Charlie stared at her, then let out an excited whoop and hugged her as she laughed. A few days later, Charlie walked into the boys' locker room to find the coach and Elijah sitting on a bench looking pale.
Coach, you called me?
Charlie, I know this is a lot to ask, but we have the season's biggest game next week, and Elijah still can't play. He's hurt himself in practice, and we need a captain. It'd be a huge favor to the team. Otherwise, we're out.
Elijah was seething with rage, but Charlie just couldn't turn down the coach.
Of course, sir. I'll see you at practice.
On the day of the match, Charlie played his heart out as team captain, and when he scored the winning goal against the school's biggest rivals, the whole crowd erupted into cheers. He ran over to Brianna in the stands and kissed her in front of everybody. Then his teammates carried him away on their shoulders while he waved the trophy happily. After celebrating with the team, Charlie headed out of school. He was just a couple of blocks away when someone pushed him into an alley. He looked up to see a couple of thugs, and behind them was Elijah.
What are you doing?
No, Charlie, what are you doing? You've really picked the wrong guy to mess with, haven't you?
I'm not messing with you, man. I helped your team because you couldn't play. Now you want to beat me up for that?
I couldn't play because your girlfriend caused my injury, and you're to blame. She rejected me and insulted me because of you.
She rejected you before she even met me, because you're a jerk.
You little weasel. You might be flying high right now, but I've been trying to warn you, you don't belong here. What makes you think Brianna is so different suddenly? How can you be sure she isn't making a fool of you again?
I'm sure. Now back off. I'm the school's hero right now. I don't think you want to mess with me.
Elijah looked ready to punch him, but some kids passed by the alley just then, and he stepped away.
This isn't over.
2 days later, the school was holding its annual spring dance, and Brianna walked into the gym looking for Charlie, who had said he'd meet her there. She saw Maddie, Amber, and Elijah glaring at her from a corner, then turned away to spot Charlie talking to someone.
Hey, there you are. You look good.
She leaned in to kiss him, but he gently pushed her away.
We need to talk. I can't delay it any longer.
Okay, you sound serious. What is it?
Brianna, I'm breaking up with you.
What? Haha, very funny.
Do I look like I'm joking?
Charlie, come on, what are you doing?
I said I'm breaking up with you.
I don't understand. Can we please?
Are you really as dumb as everyone says? I thought you were the smartest of the Barbie angels. Did you really think I was in love with you? No, Brianna, I was just playing your game. When you told me how you were desperately in love with me, I saw it as the perfect chance to take revenge. I decided to make you believe I loved you too, and then dump you publicly just like you girls did.
Brianna stared at him speechlessly as everyone stared at them. Then Charlie walked closer and leaned in.
How does that feel? Being fooled and humiliated. I thought you should experience it. Oh, also one more thing. I won't be returning the $200,000 I borrowed from you. I've spent it already, treating myself to some nice things. I figured it's fair compensation for everything you've put me through.
With that, Charlie left while Brianna stood frozen in her spot. Suddenly, she found Amber by her side.
Come on, let's get out of here.
As they walked out into the hallway, they heard Madison cackling loudly behind them.
Wow, that was epic! I've never respected Charlie more in my life. He really played a number on you, Bree. And Amber, get away from her. She's not your friend anymore.
Brianna didn't respond and continued walking away.
We really broke him, didn't we, Brianna? Turned a perfectly nice guy into a heartless jerk. Now that's a high school project I'll always remember.
Suddenly, Brianna turned around and lunged at her. Madison screamed as she tried to fight Brianna off. A few kids, including Amber, finally managed to pull them apart.
God knows I've been wanting to hit you since the day I met you, and that's a memory I will cherish for years.
Brianna turned away and ran out, breaking out into sobs. Brianna refused to go to school and just stayed in bed for days, feeling completely miserable. One morning, a maid brought her a letter. It was from Charlie. She anxiously ripped it open, and the check she'd given him for $200,000 fell out.
He didn't even use it. He was just teasing me. I really don't get this jerk. He's completely messed me up.
She buried her head in her arms and started to cry, but then she stopped and picked up the check.
I don't care what Charlie thinks of me. I'm gonna use this to save my show.
She jumped out of bed, stuffed the check in her bag, and put on her coat. A few days later, Charlie and Grandma were watching the local news on TV when suddenly Brianna's face appeared on the screen with the headline saying, "Young TV star diagnosed with Crohn's disease." Charlie stared in shock, then his face darkened.
Poor girl. That's terrible news. Charlie, I don't know what happened between you two, but I think we should go see her.
She's lying.
What do you mean?
She's not sick, Grandma. This is all an act to get ratings and views for her show.
What? No, she wouldn't do that. Why do you have to assume the worst about people lately?
Because they are the worst. She told me of her plan to do this herself.
Well, she must have some reason. Brianna isn't like that.
Yes, she is. Why do you need to see the good in everyone, Grandma? Least of all these people. They're awful and shallow, and they think people like us are more worthless than the gum stuck to their shoes.
I made a huge mistake convincing you to attend this school. I thought nothing could ever change you, but I was wrong. I hardly recognize you these days, Charlie.
Grandma walked out before Charlie could say another word. A few days later, Brianna was told someone had come to see her downstairs. She made sure she looked pale and walked weakly into the lounge to find Elijah sitting next to her mom.
What are you doing here? Mom, I told you I feel too sick to have visitors.
Brianna, please sit down. This is important.
Brianna, we both know you haven't been very nice to me, but I've always cared about you. It just crushed me the way that poor scumbag humiliated you.
What do you want, Elijah?
Oh, I don't want anything, but I brought you something that will really teach Charlie the lesson he deserves. That day at the spring dance, one of the kids standing close to you made a video.
Elijah handed her his phone, and Brianna stared at it in shock to see Charlie caught on camera saying,
How does that feel? Being fooled and humiliated. I thought you should experience it. Oh, also one more thing. I won't be returning the $200,000 I borrowed from you. I've spent it already, treating myself to some nice things. I figured it's fair compensation for everything you've put me through.
Brianna, when were you going to tell me about this? If Elijah hadn't shown me this video, I would never have checked your account and known that $200,000 have been withdrawn. How dare he threaten to not return your money?
Oh God, how can I tell Mom that Charlie returned the money? If she asked me where I spent it, I can't tell her I used it to bribe the doctor.
Brianna, answer me. Has he been making any other threats?
No, Mom, he hasn't. Please, I'm just too sick to deal with all this. He'll give it back.
Oh, you bet he will. When I sue him, I'll have my lawyer send him a notice today.
No, I don't want to do that.
Honey, I'm not asking you to be a part of this. You just need to rest. I'll take care of everything. There is no way I'm going to let some good-for-nothing beggar rob us blind.
He's treated you very poorly, Brianna. Don't worry, we'll make him pay.
Brianna got up and left the room, feeling panicked.
When Mom accuses Charlie, he'll rat me out. What if the news gets out and everyone discovers that I faked my illness? My reputation will be ruined for good. Oh God, what have I done?
The next night, Charlie found a courier at his door, handing him over a legal notice to appear in court the next morning. It was served by Brianna's mother, accusing him of stealing $200,000. He crumpled the paper and threw it aside, holding his head in his hands. Moments later, he got up and looked at himself in the mirror.
I gave her back the money, and she used that to bribe the doctor. But of course she didn't tell her mom, and now she's too scared to tell the truth. So her mom thinks I still have the money and I'm some thief. If I said the truth, Brianna's reputation would be ruined. I won't stand a chance against people like them in court. Why should I suffer anymore because of Brianna? I shouldn't even go. But I will, because I'm in love with her.
The next morning in court, Brianna nervously stole glances at Charlie as she sat next to her mom and Elijah. Charlie just sat there blankly, not turning to her once.
Would the plaintiff's lawyer please read out the charges made against the defendant?
The defendant, Mr. Charlie, is accused of the theft of $200,000 from Miss Brianna. We have submitted video evidence where he admits himself that he has no intention to return money given to him as a loan. The defendant is also accused of bullying and harassing Miss Brianna, causing severe emotional and psychological damage. We have submitted documents of Miss Brianna's recent illness triggered by extreme distress.
Objection, Your Honor. Is there any medical evidence to prove that?
Your Honor, I know it's not my place to speak, but as a mother, I simply cannot stay silent. My only child has fallen extremely sick after being harassed by him. Her school, her work, her health, everything has been affected by his actions. Her doctors will vouch for it. And people like Charlie are predators who prey on the feelings of rich young women to get money out of them. He must be made to pay for it.
Brianna's mom burst into tears as she took her place, while Brianna stared at her in shock.
She's a better actress than I am.
Would the defendant like to say something in response to that?
Charlie rose from his seat, slowly.
No, Your Honor.
Did you intend to return the $200,000?
No, Your Honor.
And do you believe your actions have caused Miss Brianna psychological and emotional damage?
Yes, Your Honor.
Young man, do you understand that the charges against you are very serious? If you are unable to return the loaned money as well as damages, you could land for 2 years in prison.
Charlie looked up and hung his head.
I understand, Your Honor.
Very well. Since you have pleaded guilty on all counts, the court gives you a day to arrange $500,000 or face prison.
No, this is enough.
Brianna, what are you doing?
What I should have done before. Your Honor, I want to immediately withdraw this case. There is no case against Charlie. He returned the money, and I spent it on bribing a doctor to say that I'm sick. I did it to increase ratings and views for my stupid show.
Everyone stared at Brianna in shock.
How could you lie to me like this?
Because you've made me feel like I'm a failure as an actress, and I just wanted to fix things on my own. I was feeling down, and I wasn't thinking clearly. It was desperate and stupid, and I would have never told you, but this has gone too far.
Young lady, you will be fined for wasting the court's time.
I understand, Your Honor, and I will pay it, and I am so sorry.
Case dismissed.
The judge walked out of the courtroom, and Brianna held up a hand to her mom.
We'll talk, but not now. Please, just leave me alone, Mom. Just go.
Brianna's mom and Elijah stormed off, and soon it was just Charlie and Brianna in the room. And suddenly, Brianna pushed him really hard.
Oh my god, what is your problem?
You! I swear, Charlie, I don't understand you one bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect someone like you to.
If you hate me so much, why were you about to go to freaking jail for me instead of telling the truth?
You answered your question yourself, but I'll give you a few minutes to figure it out. I know you're slow.
What are you saying? You don't hate me?
Charlie just looked at her, and she started to cry.
If you don't hate me, Charlie, then why did you break my heart?
Because I became a monster, Brianna. I just couldn't get over how you girls used me for entertainment. I was just so consumed by anger and revenge. But after I broke up with you, I realized that hurting someone you love is the worst feeling in the world. I just couldn't expose your secrets and make you look bad, and I'm really sorry for how I've treated you.
So am I. I hate the things we've done to each other.
Listen, do you think there's any chance that we can start over? No drama, no games, no lies. Because I really love you, Brianna. I know you're way out of my league. I always knew that. And you could find someone else 10 times richer and handsomer, like you deserve to be with some movie star. But I swear I'll try to be cooler and I won't ever hurt you again. And if you let me out,
How do I get you to stop talking?
I'll even work on that. It's a nervous tick. I'll go to a therapist and...
I have a better idea.
And with that, Brianna leaned in and kissed him.